What is up, friends? Takeover peeps, random person coming across this video. However you got here, I'm happy to have you. It's another week of doing this. Probably will be another few weeks, honestly. I'm not ready to order a new microphone yet, but I also don't want the crackly sound that was happening in my ears, so we get this. Eventually, we'll take a step up in quality, okay? Buy some cards. Just kidding. Not really. I hope you all had a lovely weekend since we last chatted. I'm having a good one. My parents are here visiting. They drove down from Minneapolis and are hanging out for just over a week. So it's been really fun catching up with them and spending time together. It's my wife's birthday. Everyone say happy birthday, Sophia. And with that, let's get into it. Question of the day. What is the earliest birthday party that you remember? Who was there? What did you get? Do you remember what your cake was? My earliest birthday that I think I can remember is like age 4 or 5. I remember just before it must have been 5 because I remember being excited that I could now count my age on one hand. And I remember my cousins being around, but I don't remember a ton of details about that birthday. The one that I remember the most details about is probably like 7 or 8 years old, because that was the one where my great grandmother gave me my first ever sports cards and I never looked back. I mean, that's why the Takeover exists to this day. I also remember my cake that year. It was a soccer field and my mom made it, and the grass or turf or whatever was like coconut shavings dyed green. It was really cool. Sports news. The NBA preseason has started. I don't have a lot to say about it, but we did have a very exciting game on Monday night. It was Victor Wembanyama against Chet Holmgren for the first time ever, so those two tall boys were going at it. Both played very well. Victor Wembanyama had 20 points and 5 rebounds in just 19 minutes of play. Chet Holmgren did even better. He only played for 16 minutes, yet scored 21 points and grabbed 9 rebounds. Week 5 in the NFL kicked off on Thursday night with the Bears defeating the Commanders 40-20. The Justin Fields to DJ Moore connection was absolutely electric this game, and the Bears are looking like some signs of life there. DJ Moore would go on to have 230 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. On Sunday night, the San Francisco 49ers completely steamrolled the Dallas Cowboys 42-10. And Brock Purdy was very efficient in this game. He completed 17 out of his 24 passes for 252 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Eagles remain undefeated after this week. I know one of our watchers, Sydney, will be very excited about that, or is already very excited about that. And the Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings completely broke my heart. Now at 1-4, it might be time for the Vikings to just blow this thing up. I mean, it's not as simple as changing quarterbacks, although like a young rookie quarterback is always an exciting thing. But we also see many cases where it doesn't turn a team around anytime soon, or sometimes not at all. So it's not all Kirk Cousins, okay? Before Kirk Cousins fanboys and fangirls jump on me for this, it is about our offensive line. Before you can have any successful quarterback, you have to have protection around him. And the offensive line over the last handful of years for the Vikings has been kind of lackluster. Guys haven't played up to what we wanted them to be. There's been injuries. Guys have switched to other teams. It's just not great. So before we say that like a top quarterback like a Caleb Williams or someone else coming out is going to fix this, they're not. We need to fix the offensive line. There needs to be something there, some injection of greatness. I don't know what it takes, but it's not as simple as getting another top quarterback. With that said, I think the season is a lost cause at this point. I already kind of felt that way going into this week. Now Justin Jefferson is also shut down for 4 weeks on the PUP list, or injured reserve, whatever. It's just not going. It's not going Minnesota's way. Now for the Ravens, the loss was really, really tough on Sunday because Lamar Jackson is trying his hardest to be more of a passing quarterback, and he had guys left and right just dropping passes. And it wasn't like tough stuff. He was airing it out, and he was placing the ball for them. Zay Jones dropped one. Rashad Bateman dropped a clear-cut, wide-open touchdown that hit him right in the numbers in the back of the end zone. Mark Andrews dropped one. Ultimately, the Ravens still had a chance to win, and Lamar Jackson threw an interception, so there is that. But he has been playing very well, and his receivers seriously let him down on Sunday. The Lions are now 4-1 after defeating Panthers, who are 0-5 and looking like they're going to have the number 1 overall pick. Now, if you're the Panthers, I don't think you're drafting Caleb Williams next. Let's just say they have the number 1 pick and Caleb Williams is the number 1 guy. I don't think you're already jumping off the Bryce Young trade, but I'm also not the coach or the managers, the owner. So I don't know. That's just I feel like you go after receivers, offensive linemen, other pieces you might need, defensive or whatever. I don't think you draft another top core. I don't know. You tell me, Carolina fans. And to cap it off, the Patriots look terrible. They lost 34-0 to the Saints. They just look sorry. I think it's Bailey Zappi time out there. Sports card news. Content creator, sports card investor announced that he's going to be opening his own card shop. It's going to be in Atlanta, very close to the Atlanta Braves Stadium. And there's a lot going on with this. It's a $3 million project. It's 14,000 square feet, and it's supposedly going to be open 24/7. Now, the 24/7 thing is a little bit, it's not like physically going to be open 24/7. You're going to be able to do some sort of virtual shopping by actually like going down. I imagine they're going to have the shop laid out online. It's not going to be as simple as like an eBay storefront. I think it's like you're going to be actual like virtually walk down the aisles. That's what I took from it. I don't know for sure. He has a video up. You can watch it, get more information, but we'll talk about it a little bit here. So like I said, 14,000 square feet, $3 million project. There's going to be, it's like 6 or 7 studios that breakers can be breaking live in. So you can go into the shop, you can watch the breakers physically. You can also obviously be doing the breaks online. There's going to be a trade station for kids. There's going to be a buying station. I think he said that there's going to be so many rows of cards that if you laid the cases end to end, it would be like 14 football fields worth. The cases are going to be displayed vertically instead of, the typical thing you see in card shops. I actually think is a cool, very simple thing. Such a tiny, easy change. It's like, why didn't anyone else do that? I just think it's kind of cool. To everyone's preferences, it could be different, I also think there's going to be a lot of people that have an issue with this thing. They're going to have things to say. I've already seen some online, and that's fine. I get that not everyone is for. I'm not even a watcher of Sports Card Investor. I have seen his videos in the past. I don't go and watch them particularly. I have no problem with the dude. I think this is a healthy thing for the hobby. It shows that there's still growth. It shows that people still believe in it. Also, like, you can do the hobby in so many different ways. It doesn't affect the way you do. For me, it's like, I get that there's so much uncertainty with, like, what Fanatics is doing. Then someone sees something pop up like this, and they don't necessarily like it because it's not the way they do the hobby. But it's like, you can still do it the way you... I like opening packs for fun. It's fun when I'm with a friend in person and we do it. Like, I love doing it with my friend Ben, at New Day New Drink. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram. But I don't enjoy putting a bunch of money into a gamble. So I don't really do it by myself kind of thing. Like, it's an experience with someone else. So I'm still more of a singles guy. It's also how I run my business. My business is like, when have you ever seen us sell a box? Like, maybe we sell a pack sometimes. It's all singles. Like, I will still function as a collector and a business doing it my way. There's room for... It's not a zero-sum game. That's my take. In other news, Topps is kind of not doing right by people right now. A Stadium Club is delayed until next year. That's a bummer for a lot of collectors. They also just reduced... I think in Topps update, they dropped the pack total in the boxes from 24 to 20, even though the sell sheet to distributors and card shops said there would still be 24 in there. So that's a bummer surprise. I think things are just going a little bit extra haywire for people as Fanatics comes in. Yeah, but it's still like, you want to get what you're used to getting from companies. You want quality, and you want them to stick to their word. So that's a bummer. Video game news. I don't actually have any video game news. I need to do better at sourcing this from video game stuff, but I will say I hope that you join me now every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern on X/Twitter. I am streaming video games and chatting and hanging out and having fun, and I would love for you to join. Stuff that slaps. Sunrises and sunsets. Now, I am 99.99999 continue on forever % sure that anyone watching this video has seen either a sunrise, a sunset, or both. And if you haven't, I don't know what to say. But come on, aren't they just absolutely gorgeous? It's a literal painting in the sky. All the blend of colors. coming off of that. It's especially beautiful if you watch it over a body of water. That's my favorite way to do it, like a lake or something. That's one of the things that I love about Minnesota for sure. And it's just cool seeing like the natural changing of time of day, like from day to night or night to day, you know. It's just cool to like be there for that. You know what? Let's all watch one in the next 30 days. Let's make a promise to do that, a deal. We're shaking, we're pinky promising, whatever it takes to get you to do it. Let's all either watch a sunrise or a sunset and then report back at the hangout. Wake up early, grab a coffee, or close down your day with some tea or wine or water, whatever your thing is. To bring it to the sunrise or sunset, and drink it in. Let's just go enjoy some beauty in nature because sunsets/sunrises are certified slappers. Music picks. Today I'm picking a song called Siberia by the artist Lights. Now, Lights is an electro-pop rock artist from Ontario, Canada. And I remember my first moment with Lights. It was back in the MySpace days. It must have been like 2007, 8-ish. I watched a video of her doing like an acoustic performance, I think on Ustream or something like that, of some songs on an EP or album that was out. Today, though, we're talking about a song released off of her 2011 album. Like I said, the song is called Siberia. This album was cool. She was experimenting with more lo-fi, darker electro sounds, which I thought were really cool. So that's like the vibe of most of this album, especially the song Siberia. But it's still very danceable. It's very catchy. The lyrics are catchy. I love it. She was doing some really cool stuff at this time. Well, first of all, she married the vocalist from Bless the Fall. Someone check me on that. She did a song with Bring Me the Horizon called Crucify Me. That was really sick. She was really expanding her horizons here musically, but she completely already had herself established, already very popular, great artist, all those things. I remember loving the song Siberia when it came out. I used to open a coffee shop solo by myself around the time that this released, and it would be back to sunrises. I'd be opening the coffee shop as the sun was rising or not even out yet, and I would be blasting the song Siberia in the coffee shop while I got coffee going and everything set up before open. It just gave me like good energy before. I loved it. Like I said, this was more of a darker lo-fi album for her. Think about what was happening at this time. MGMT had just released the album with like Kids on it and Electric Feel and stuff. Think like more like Passion Pit, the Manners album, I believe. I have a feeling that this was like tying into what was going on there because Passion Pit dropped like a pretty like, you know, it's boppy, it's catchy and stuff like that, but it's still very like kind of dark and wavy and stuff like that. And that's exactly what's happening in the song Siberia. Anyways, that's my pick for this week. Go listen to Siberia by Lights. Thank you so much for hanging out, friends. I will see you next week for another weekly wrap-up. Peace and love.